Okay, so today we are using this very thin tape and we're going to make all different sizes, squares and oblongs using this tape. I thought it'd be a fun way to do sort of a grid for your abstract watercolour. Randomly putting the strips wherever you feel. You just want to fill your page full of these lines and then you are ready to start your painting. The colours we're going to use today are yellow ochre, and we're also going to use burnt sienna along with maroon. So it's the warm side of the colour palette, and we are just going to fill in these little spaces that we've painted. We're going to mix some of the paint, some of the colours as well. So I'm just gone in with some of the burnt sienna there and just adding some here and there, and then just going in with the maroon. So just adding a whole section with a maroon there and then adding it to the burnt sienna there. It sort of gives like a faded kind of gradient of your colour, which looks rather nice, I think. And I do like using the same side of the colour wheel. It just gives a more cohesive kind of look to your painting. You may want to go with opposite side of the colour wheel and the colours will bounce. So go with however you feel on that day. I really like using this thin tape. It's very useful. It's actually listed down below, so if you want to have a look at that. I am affiliated with Amazon, which means I do get a small commission, but you may be able to find this tape somewhere else. So the details of that tape will be down below. So continuing to fill in all the colours, and I think I'm quite happy with that. It looks quite good. Just adding a bit more depth to colour by layering over the top. So once you've let all of that paint dry, then you're going to be ready to do a little bit of doodling. So I've got these jelly roll pens. Again, these are listed below for your reference. And I'm just going to add some patterns onto the page. So a little bit of a squiggly line here, and I think that looks really nice in this lovely turquoisey kind of blue. And then I'm just going to be adding some little dots to those squiggles, just because I felt like it at the time. So doodle on watercolour, it's an increasingly popular mixed media art technique. Combining your transparent washes of your watercolour paint and then using the pen for precise expressive lines. It's a fantastic way to add definition, whether it be detail in texture or a whimsical sense or an illustrative quality to your pieces. So I'm just being quite random, just thinking of patterns. So patterns are my thing. I love doing patterns. Hope you do too. And I have got like a little doodle book that I've got on the side, which, late at night I might fill in when I'm a little bit bored, just to get some ideas. So I utilise that book when I come to do this kind of work and transfer some of those ideas over onto my page. Sometimes I use patterns that I always use, and sometimes there are less popular ones in my mind that I will use occasionally, and sometimes I'll do repeat patterns depending on how I feel at that time. So putting down that watercolour wash actually reduces the fear of the white page. When you feel a little bit intimidated, you've got that white page in front of you and you really don't know what to do. Putting down that initial watercolour really can help. You may have some patterns on there that you think I can follow those patterns, and that really helps you. Or you may want to doodle a bit like what I'm doing here, or you may actually want to draw something else, like an object, like a bird or a building or something along those lines. So there's lots of things you can do with doodling over your watercolour, and laying down that initial watercolour wash really does help break that fear. So this kind of art is very beginner friendly. In fact, it's accessible to artists of all skill levels. You don't need to be a master watercolorist to complete this. So very, very easy to do. Just got to get your paint down on the page, get your pens and doodle away. I don't know whether you have the same experience as me, but sometimes I have in mind a plan and I put down a watercolor base, and unfortunately it doesn't seem to be going to plan. I end up with a page full of cauliflowers and then think, oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. So I might put that page aside and start again, or it gives me inspiration for that first page and I think, well, I do know what I can do with that. I can doodle. It's not what I expected, but let me doodle on top and follow those lines and make something pretty out of something ugly. So I've got these 3 coloured gel pens and I'm just alternating them as I've filled in these little squares. So trying to make sure that each colour doesn't touch the other colour. And that seems to have worked out okay. It may be something you want to do. You might want to do something completely different. So I've heated up the tape. It's a little bit tricky. I always get tangled up with these tapes, never knowing which I put down first and which I put down over the top. So there you go. That one got a little bit tangled up, and again there. So carefully peeling it away and trying not to rip that page underneath. I have heated it up with a hairdryer, but sometimes it doesn't work, but it has worked this time and I'm really pleased with the results. I really, really love those doodle patterns and I think the tapes worked out well. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Love to hear from you. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. And if you've liked this, please like. I would love to hear about your arty journey stories, so please leave me a comment. See you soon. Bye.